There's another type of attack that makes use of the web architecture, but is actually looking to attack or target the client machine. So what I want to show you here is a cross-site scripting attack. So the first thing I want to do is I want to load up tamper data. And we're going to do some tampering with a request, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I'm sending in some JavaScript here, which is what cross-site scripting is. It's using a scriptable language like JavaScript in order to actually interact with the client browser. So I'm going to tamper with this, and here's the reason why. Because what happened is they did some URL encoding or hex encoding with the characters here. So I'm going to change these back to what they were before. Because with the hex encoding, it doesn't look quite the same when we actually come back on the other side. So I'm going to replace all of these characters here with their original non-URL, non-hex encoded versions. And then finally this bracket here. So now I'm going to click OK. We're going to submit that. And what happened was it came back with that entire set of JavaScript back in the page. Because you see here it says welcome, and there's my name, and then right here after that in the source is going to be this script. And when the browser sees that, it actually executes it. So I can actually show you by looking at the page source. We can see welcome, my name, script, and here's the JavaScript right there. So what happened was the browser got to this and it actually executed that alert. Now, imagine what would happen, and I'm going to stop tampering here. Imagine what would happen if there were something like grabbing cookies or doing some other bit of malicious code here that actually were to grab data from this user machine and send it off somewhere else. That could actually happen. Now, in this case, this is just something that I plug in and it comes right back at me. If this information were stored in a database in, for example, a forum post, and then every time a user went there, that script was actually run, that would be stored cross-site scripting, and that's far more dangerous because if I can store it, then I can hit everybody who goes to that particular site. The way to do this that we just went through here is if it's a URL parameter, I could actually craft a URL and send it to somebody and hope they actually click on it. The stored cross-site scripting is just far more dangerous because it's so much easier to get so many more people by storing in a database and then just waiting for people to come by the page. So again, cross-site scripting is one of those things that makes use of a web architecture, but is really attacking the client browser. That's really the target of the cross-site scripting, is the client browser or the user that's making use of the browser.